Thanks.
Oh, you can't hide from that light. Thank you very, very much. Now, we have a number of, as I love, beautifully described, roving mics. So even if you're at the front, could you use them, please, so that we can, so that everybody can hear your question as well as just Paul. And also, we've discovered a magnificent innovation as part of our conferences, is that instead of having to wait afterwards for the wine, we're bringing it in now. But Paul, last time they missed us out at the podium, so swipe one as it comes past.
Yes.
So do we have, I don't know if we have our mics yet. Do we have our mics? Thank you. Could we have our first question just down here? Abby, if you could shoot round, you look like you're the closest. That's it. Thank you very much. Is it turned on?
First of all, thank you for some excellent insights in your presentation, Paul.
Thank you.
You mentioned shadow IT and cloud, and given the advent of software as a service, how do the two come together to get shadow IT under control to enable you to deliver standardization, for example?
Great question. And I think that's something we're all struggling with is, where does software as a service fit in? In terms of the shadow IT departments, what I meant by them was organizations in line departments that, I can't see you, so I'm going to move here. Organizations in line departments that are trying to do your job, our job. And our job is to know about the technology, it's to advise people on the right choices, to understand how it fits together, to do that. And quite often you will find that there's some people in line departments who've been recruited for whatever reasons. Maybe the business isn't very happy with the IT department, who've been taken out of the IT department. And instead of doing the business job, which is being, lovely phrase, intelligent customer, they actually try to second guess the IT department and, it's got to be that, not that. So I really think you've got to go after those. Now, sometimes you're successful, sometimes you're not. But I just think, you've got to call out, that's our job, we do that. You tell us what you want. Don't tell me it's, XYZ software. It's not your job. Your job is to say what the business needed. So I think that's okay. That still holds. I think software as a service is different. And I think we all need policies. So, I think it's going to happen. You need a forward architecture which says, this is where we're going as a business. These are the things that we think we need to build or integrate or put forward. Here are elements where we will be prepared to entertain software as a service. We can use a third party to do it. So the frequently asked questions on ba.com is and was a service. It's painted blue and sort of works, but that works quite well. The core ba.com site is not. You have to be very, very careful about this, because if you put software as a service into the core of your architecture, you may open up access to customer data and things like that. So I think it's really important, instead of having an argument about, the commercial director really must have this bit of functionality on the website, and all we've got to do is open up the permissions and let them in, to have a discussion beforehand. This is mental note to myself, by the way, for the John Lewis board, is to have a discussion beforehand which says, yeah, we're not against it, but if you are going to use a service, you must be very careful about what it has access to, where it can go. Is it going to interfere with purchasing data? Is it going to interfere with customer data? How does it affect our exposure in terms of payments and things like that? So you've got principles. You then have to have principles about, is this mission critical? If the commercial director swears a mighty oath that this isn't mission critical and says, yeah, fine, okay, I don't mind if it does go down on Sundays, I don't care, I just want this, fine. Make sure they say it in front of witnesses. But then say, if it is a key component, say, well, you show me no mercy. rightly so, if we go down for more than 5 nines, we have to insist on the same, and then right into the contract. So I think you need a policy to get across it. But you're right, it's a really interesting area, and I think quite hard to get the balance right on.
Thank you very much. Next question, because you're close to a microphone. No, sorry, so the man just here, sorry, thank you.
Hello, my name's Tim Wade from Morgan Sindall. I'm really interested in the social networking side. Lots of companies believe their reputation is at risk by opening up their company to Twitter and Facebook, etc.
Sorry, could you speak up a little?
Sorry, yes, I'm just saying that lots of companies are concerned about opening up Facebook and Twitter and their reputation. They could be tarnished by that. I'd just be interested in just exploring that a bit further, your experience in that area.
Well, I mean, who here has seen United Broke My Guitar? Anybody? It's quite famous these days, isn't it? I mean, this was, for those of you who haven't seen it, is some poor chap, some foolhardy chap, made the mistake of putting his sort of classical guitar into the baggage hold of a domestic United Airlines flight in the States. And, guess what happened? It came out in many, many pieces. So what did he do? As soon as he got hold of it, he then got his mate to do a video, made up a little ditty which went United Broke My Guitar, repeat 50 times. And it went viral on Facebook, on YouTube. You've got to watch it. So it's a bit, I suppose, and it's a great question. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. People are going to make comments about you on social networking. I think people are quite intelligent about it and are quite good at spotting things they do or they don't believe in. If you've got a genuine issue, it's worth responding to it. What we do in John Lewis is every afternoon, we monitor and we keep a view. And clearly, if they're one-off issues, those need to be dealt with in terms of appropriate one-off measures. But if you're getting something consistent that's happening, sort of about products, it actually gives you valuable early warning. We also find that the Facebook page, John Lewis Facebook page, is working quite well in terms of new products, and I think people just use it. And I think the really interesting thing is actually how people will use it in the future. So if you think you're making a decision to buy something, who are you going to ask? Well, they're probably people that you know and trust. So those might be, the 50 of your friends. So you're probably going to pay attention to that. I know, because I don't go to a hotel unless I've checked TripAdvisor. Anybody else use TripAdvisor? See, good bet, that one. I think you just can't afford not to be there, and recognize it is there and you need a presence. How all this will develop, I don't have a great answer to. I think that's one of the, the interesting things is about how this develops. But I absolutely think that anybody who's in a customer-facing space needs a social networking policy.
Thank you very much. And the next question, I'm going to purposefully go to the back.
Great. As I'm at the back, I hope I'm not being too greedy and ask 2 questions, if I may. The first question really is around, a lot of your talk was around alignment with your business, from an IT perspective, aligning the two. And you have an alignment with both your internal customer and your external customer. And I just wondered whether or not the alignment that you're striving for was always the same. And the second question was just feeding on to the last question. And I just wonder whether or not, as a trend, and I'm not asking for a de facto answer on this, I'm just thoughts. Would social media, do you think, replace email as a form of communication in a business environment?
Well, for many generations, it already has replaced email, as I'm sure we all know. Just coming on to the first bit about alignment, I think it's important, and if it came over, is that the technology should drive the change. I don't think that's quite right. I think my relationship in John Lewis or British Airways is with the multi-channel online commercial people or the distribution people. Yeah, okay, I think it's a really important point that everybody in the data center really understands that they are, you know, the biggest channel for check-in. You know, they're not some kind of abstract thing in a box that has no windows. They're actually customer facing. I think that's really, really important message. But I do think, and this is their no IT projects, only business projects point, that our job is to enable the business, to inspire the businesses to work closely. And the most fun I've had as a CIO IT director is when you get that alignment. So when actually there is enormous business challenge. So way, way back in British Airways, you know, Ryanair and EasyJet, you know, had eaten our breakfast because we were charging stupid prices, you know, to fly places. And, you know, it just wasn't, and we ended up flying, you know, air around the place. And actually we aligned with the business to make a really rather clever IT change, calendar-led selling, which everybody then sort of used, but actually that was then implemented by the business changing the way it priced things. And then the marketing department covering London, you know, with ads trying to convince people that actually we were competitive and we weren't expensive. So, yeah, if it came across that there was a difference, that was wrong. So I think, you know, it's alignment that matters. It's enablement, it's inspiration, you know, it's delivering what the business needs, you know, and actually, you know, we all know that co-located groups who are trying to deliver something go tons better than ones that are separated. In terms of whether, yeah, absolutely. Email's horrible, isn't it? You know, ghastly thing. You know, we all do it religiously, you know. And then you know, it comes back. It is very hard to use. You know, and it's very, you know, two-dimensional. So yes, I think it will. But the other thing I also think is that actually, what we have at the moment, and our challenge as IT directors, and our, you know, is to do this cost effectively, is to give people the tools that they want that suit them. So you know, I like social networking. Other people, you know, sort of silly jokes apart, actually find email very effective, you know, and actually, you know, that's fine, you know, providing you've got the options and everybody knows the rules of the game. So I think you need to find the IT tools that support the culture of your company or your government department or your charity, and things that really work for you. So you know, if you know, people, you know, really like Twitter as a means of communicating, and I'm still in touch with loads of my old colleagues from BA, you know, who was sort of pinging things back and forward. You know, that'll take over. So, sorry, that's a bit of a messy answer, but actually I think the world in this space is a bit messy, and it's all about cultures and all about what you want.
Thank you very much. And can I take a question from the left-hand side of the room, at the back?